the future of Ohio, its prosperity, its ability to compete globally, its ability to meet the big environmental and social challenges of our time, relate directly to the health and vitality of these core communities. These core communities from Cleveland to Zanesville really drove Ohio's economy 60 years ago. Our premise is many of them have the assets that matter in today's economy, and they could contribute substantially if state policy is changed. We identify core communities as those places that had 15,000 in population in 1950 and were 20% of their county's population. So they were the population centers back in 1950, and they were the centers of commerce, and they were the centers of industry. When Ohio really was an industrial powerhouse, not just in the United States, but in the world. Our view is that many of these places have the advanced research institutions, the medical facilities, the large globally competitive companies, the community colleges, the infrastructure, the historic properties. They have the assets that matter in growing a prosperous economy. Number one, there's too much government in Ohio, where every municipality is competing against each other for the next retail facility or for the next commercial facility, for that little slice of property tax or payroll tax. What Ohio's jurisdictions need to be doing is collaborating to compete. Cities collaborating with suburbs, suburbs collaborating with rural townships. We think the state of Ohio should encourage a new level of collaborative governance of the state. That's number one. Number two, we think the state needs to build on what we call anchor institutions, those higher ed institutions, those globally competitive firms, those medical research facilities, and world-class health clinics like the Cleveland Clinic or what the University of Cincinnati has. That requires a level of focus on tax policy, on workforce policy, on infrastructure policy that really doesn't happen in the state of Ohio because every one of those policies is sort of siloed and compartmentalized. So focus on your anchor institutions. They're the future of your state economy. State policy needs to get behind them. And lastly, infrastructure. Basically, having state-of-the-quality roads, transit, passenger rail, freight rail, airports, ports, telecommunication, even energy distribution. That's the ticket to world-class prosperity.